This is Joe from ArtAlienTV. Now today I've got some really crazy stuff to show you here, and it's from this image here, which is from the HiRISE on the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, and the title of the image is Cratered Cones Within a Flow in Elysium Planitia. There's no explanation for this really, apart from volcanic processes. What they're hinting on is that a lot of these formations and things on the ground are actually small volcanoes. And that may be the case. And it probably is the case for a lot of them. But once you start looking at these, you're going to start wondering what the hell's going on. Now, this is supposed to be some kind of natural structure, but it has what seem to be walls around the outside of it. And I thought, wow, that's really cool. And it's got 5 sides. You could argue there are 6 because that's slightly angled, but really that's 1 there. So it's pentagonal with a mound in the middle. But that mound seems to have a little wall around the top of it there. It's going close. Just here you can see like a little wall just there. Maybe, maybe not, right? So that to me doesn't look natural. So I thought, okay, now when you look at the greater area, you're going to see loads of these, and this is insane. And they've either got 5 or 6 sides. Many of them are the same size, which is around the 200 metre mark. Let me use the measure on there. Look, that is just a tad over 200. And a lot of these pentagonal and hexagonal formations are the same size. That's also 200. And you'll find that most of these are around the 200 metre mark. And there's loads of them. Now, this is the best one. This is the most defined one here, which I showed you first here. There's another one here. There's a bunch of them here. And when you go down here, there's another one here. Now, some of them are more randomly shaped. Some of them are more ovoid. Some are more sort of even rectangular, some of them. But the pentagonal and hexagonal ones are the most common. And some are a bit bigger like this one here. But most of them are about the same size. Now, that doesn't mean they're unnatural or they've been built. But what's really weird is there's a formation of them here. And you can actually rotate this around, which is really cool. And they're the same size, and they're all approximately the same shape. So the odds of finding one of these are probably quite slim, I would say, finding one. And they seem to have these walls around them. They're on like a platform with walls. I understand that this is probably an area that's been affected by water flow, and you can see that there are lots of solidified clays on the ground. And often in this kind of area, in lake beds and river beds and that kind of thing, when it dries out, the surface of the lake bed or river will crack into sort of honeycomb structures, right, which are often pentagonal or hexagonal, usually hexagonal. And that's fairly common on Earth as well. But these are really quite large, and when you start looking at some of these, you're gonna wonder what the hell's going on, because basically we've got formations of these things. Loads of them are just randomly shaped and smaller little ones here, which look kind of like solidified mud volcanoes or something like that, maybe. But loads of them have these walls around the outside on like a little platform, like this one. This is a pentagonal one here. And there's another one here. This one here is odd, and this is strange because this one here has like a dome at one end with a sort of almost semicircular part here, right? We've got the walls around the outside, and we've got a dome with that part. So that's a different type. There's more of these, and once you start looking around, you'll see that there's about 3 or 4 like this, with the dome at one end and then a semicircle there. And sometimes that semicircle is more sort of angular and almost rectangular. There's a really nice hexagonal one here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, with walls. Now, why would these have walls around them? There's another one here. Now, this one is really weird because not only has it got walls around the outside, but if you look in the middle, it seems to have a square or almost perfectly square top on it, just there. Now, is that a volcano? Is it some kind of mud volcano? Is it a structure? I mean, it's absolutely insane. And once you start looking around, you're going to see loads of these. Now, these sort of 200-meter ones, there's about 5 or 6 down here. There's another half a dozen here. There's about another dozen here. And then they get smaller up here. And then there's not so many up further up near the top. But there are some interesting formations here, like we have here, where you have these more natural looking ones, right, which are more sort of rounded and ovoid. But that one almost has a hexagonal sort of outer perimeter, as this one does. So I appreciate a lot of this is down to erosion, but why would so many of them be hexagonal or pentagonal? I've got some singular ones here, the larger ones, and I've also got clips of some of the formations, some of which are really strange. And some of them are kind of square, some of them are rectangular, have got rectangular parts on top. Many of them have walls around them. This is the one with a square feature on top, with square walls on the top there, right? Now there's a scale on this one, so you can see that this is about 200 meters. All 3 of them are, because that's 100 meters down there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these in a sequence in a few minutes' time, and just let them play through multiple examples of hexagonal and pentagonal perimeter walls on these supposed volcanic structures or volcanic cones, okay? Now, the question is, are some of these actually destroyed domes or structures that have been built? I don't know. But some of these walls, I mean, I don't see how these would form naturally with these inside them. I really don't see how that would work in a sort of natural geological way. I can't think of any way that would work. Okay? So I'm just going to show you a few of these now, and in about 5 minutes I'll play all these through, and you can look at them yourself, and you can cross-reference them with the Gigapan. If you follow the link below in the description near the top, that will take you to the Gigapan page, and you can look at them yourself. There's also a colorized Gigapan I've done, which you can link to as well. This is the clearest one, and this one seems to have thicker, clearer walls around the outside. Okay, absolutely mental. There's the actual black and white clip. And these are highly detailed. It's a very large image. This is the one near it, just to the right of it. Here's one of those double ones. Now, this has got a really nice perimeter around it, which is on like a platform, a sort of raised platform. And then we have the sort of semicircular body to it here, but with a dome with 2 holes in it. Very strange. And there's a bunch, there's 3 or 4 like this with this formation here with the dome to one side, which is pretty cool. There it is again with the measure in the corner. Here's another one, so I showed a minute ago. I mean, this one's incredible. Look at these walls. They're actually it's not just a platform. These are raised like a wall here, 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 and here. It's a bit offset, this one, and it looks like it's collapsed at the back here. And next to it, we've got these weird triangles in the ground just up here, near the top. We've got like a set of triangular parts in the ground. Very strange. Now, I appreciate most of this is probably natural, but how are these walls forming on these platforms with these in the middle? Here's another one, a bit too close to it, but this is one of the ones with a squarish top to it. Here's a formation of them. This is a larger one here. That's over 200 meters on the left. And these on the right are sort of around the 150 sort of mark. Okay. But these are more sort of eroded and broken down, but they have interesting structures inside. So they're kind of like domes. I mean, a lot of these maybe just collapsed volcanoes or mud volcanoes. I don't know, but perhaps some of these are artificial domes, because if you look at this one here on the left, it's got these walls around the outside, and it seems to have sort of like a dome that's cracked. You can see these cracks, these sort of angular cracks in it. So perhaps some of these were actual domes that were built. Who knows? This one on the top right's weird as well. Look at that. That's got a sort of collapsed dome. So, I mean, who knows? I mean, the fact that a lot of them are the same size doesn't necessarily mean they're artificial. So this is another interesting one. We've got two here with sort of triangular-ish tops to them, cutouts, on a sort of double platform here. So this is a nice formation here. The one on the right here seems to have a sort of triangular thing inside it, which is interesting. And you'll find with a lot of them, they've got weird things inside. That one looks natural. It's got like a large rocky sort of formation in the middle. And of course, if these were eroded by water around the outside, they would probably be more ovoid. Some of them really do look artificial. And this formation here, you can really see these outer parts, hexagons and pentagons. Okay, this is a sort of collapsed one here in the middle. There's that one again with the two holes in it and the dome at one end. But this one here on the right is the one that gets me. It's got walls around the outside and it has a square wall in the middle going right round. I mean, how would a volcano do that? It's safe to say that many of these are natural. But what you do have with some of them, like in this formation, the one on the right here, may look natural, but actually these are rectangular, domed rectangular shapes. And it's sort of broken up. We've got a rectangle here, one here, one here, one here, and one here, with square parts inside them, like this one here and here. But like I said, it doesn't make a lot of sense until you turn it negative and you can actually see those rectangular parts. Let me rotate that for you. We've got a rectangular one here, here, and here with squares. So it's really weird how they've blocked and broken down these things. And it makes them look artificial. It doesn't mean they are necessarily. But this one could be, I don't know. Many of these things initially look natural until you zoom in. And then you start to see things that you can't explain it with a normal geological explanation. So this is really the most significant one, I think. It's the clearest and has the highest walls around the outside and seems to be less eroded than some of them. This one here is another really good example. These walls around the outside, they really stick up and they're quite high, 50 to 80 feet, something like that. Could be more, so they're quite high, these things. And the question is, were these domes artificial? When you look at the actual Gigapan, there aren't that many craters here. So unlike that video I showed previously, where I showed what looks like huge city compounds that have been struck from above, there don't seem to be many large craters here. There are a couple, and there's one up here, up in the top right corner. We have a rectangular structure in the ground. Now, is this a crater or not? That's the question. You can see it's rectangular. So this may be artificial, who knows? But most of it, like I said, most of this stuff does look natural. This is one of my favourite ones because we've got a very artificial looking one on the right with the square top. And we have clear walls on this one and a nice shape to this one as well. Could you actually honestly say that these are all natural? Evenly spaced, same size, same shape? Just because there's loads of random stuff around it doesn't mean that everything here is completely random. There's that one I was on about with the rectangular parts. This doesn't make a lot of sense until you move it around like this and look at it round the other way. And then you can see those rectangulars better. Those rectangular shapes. One there, one there, one there, one there. and one there. Is that natural? If you were being attacked from above, it would be very good to actually build something here, build into one of these natural domes and convert it into a camouflaged citadel or building, okay? Because anyone flying over you from above would just look down and think, oh, there's just a load of random volcanic shapes on the ground, geology, you know. The perfect way to camouflage yourself if you're being attacked would be to live in one of these, because it just kind of blends in with everything else. Okay, so thanks for watching, everybody. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Check out my last couple of videos. There's loads of crazy stuff like this, city areas that look like they've been attacked from above. Check that out, the last video especially. It's a bit long, but there's some amazing stuff in it. Okay, so thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you soon.